today in the New York area in the afternoon. And anytime it is by you, welcome to the show and welcome to You Change the World. Just a reminder about why this title for this particular event. It's because I think that we all know that for everybody individually, there is always an opportunity in the lifetime to change the world. And for most of us, when we do, we don't know about it. But as leaders usually have impact on other people and look for having influence on them, a good influence, a leader in a company, in an organization, willing to make a department profitable or willing to engage a team of people, that's in fact calling for extraordinary talents and not only talents and skills, but it's also looking for a kind of dynamic or an energy that people and leaders have usually to be willing to make people's lives better. And because of that reason, they change the world. It is about changing the world. And this is why, in fact, I'm an optimistic person, very optimistic, in fact, really optimistic in the middle of many, many chaotic situations in today's world. And not only chaotic, sometimes calling for desperation, that human man or mankind in general is not wise enough to find the solutions, the answers, to connect to the truth of different facts and matters. That's why medium, media, uh, and all kind of other tools that politicians and other people with agenda use to do propaganda, to do all kind of things that mislead the massive, the massive amount of a massive amount of people, the general population, an audience, whatever this is. Sometimes we don't even realize that we are targets for being brainwashed in different situations. I take one example: academia, where very smart people are there with a lot of credentials, PhDs, and all kind of things like that. Professors, presidents of universities like Harvard. I mean, we are really talking about seriously people who are getting incredible salaries. I heard for the first time yesterday or two this morning in the news that the president of Harvard, who just resigned, has a $9 million salary a year. I mean, to be the president of Harvard, it's a very prestigious institution. But I'm not getting into that because it's not the purpose of this program. I'm talking about truth. I'm talking about individual freedom to take information, process it intellectually, and also have your own background and story and DNA to make your own judgment about the veracity, the authenticity, or being looking for the source of an information to verify it before you make your own judgment and opinion. So that's what I'm calling for here all the time. Is I think this is what the freedom is about: is to have your own mind, your own judgment, and not let anyone external of you take power over that. This is why I'm so concerned. But this title of "You Change the World" here, and all I just said in the beginning to introduce this program today, is definitely about being optimistic, because I think that all of us, at the end of the day, want to be free. And this is why, at one point, if there was no truth in different aspects of our today's lives, collectively, as a community, as a country, or as a society, well, the truth will come out. That's what my hope is. And not only the truth will come out, but things will come back to some reality, and that will straighten it up and gives us another chance to build a promising society, a winning society, a profitable society. This is why I think that you can talk about any kind of groups, organizations, forming different people living together under the same roof or under the same sun, and we are going to just toward the same direction. We need a purpose in our lives. We need a purpose to be part of an organization. We need a purpose to be a leader, and we need to share that purpose and inspire other people to share the same purpose, so that we commonly make an effort and engage into this effort and make it successful. All right. Now that I said all of that, please welcome also to YouTube, where I'm really asking you to please subscribe, even today, even now, if you could. Secondly, to LinkedIn, to Instagram, to Facebook, to Spotify, to Apple Podcasts, and all the other channels that we use here to try to make this messaging, this program, the content of this program, publicly known and maybe beneficial to you. And hopefully, because this is what I do for a living, and this is what I do every day, use the coaching and the experience of coaching my clients, or they are individual or they are teams. Excuse me. Excuse me. It's cold today, and I get probably some kind of a cold coming up. But it is definitely about talking to you through these channels and make it impactful. So please welcome again and come back also to the website andrepolitzer.com, where you will find some information, a new page coming up where we're going to talk about the spotlight method that has to do with self-confidence and executive presence. And I think this method that we're using here has been extremely efficient. This is why it justified me to spend some time developing a new page in the website and a new service on its own that will be really offered out there, and hopefully benefit so many other leaders and managers out there in the world, because it's global and because it's not only the US, it's not only English, it's only also in French when it is about me coaching, but it can be in other languages when it's another coach. So here we are today talking about something very important, crucial. It's completely in my mind all the time. And it's about my biggest challenge, I think, one of my biggest challenge. It is to manage time, and it's to make the time efficient. It's to come at the end of the day looking backwards and say, I have been achieving something today. I had something done from me that was planned for delivery and was delivered beyond expectations, or at least at the level of expectation I had originally. Okay, so the time to do so is a factor that is not always easy to control. And I had suggested in this title today, in this theme that I introduced today, so really only introducing it, that gratitude of time, gratitude of what we are given, is going to make us appreciate the moment. And by appreciating the moment, we're going to not feel the time flying as fast as it does when we don't appreciate the moment, when we think we take it for granted, when this moment has been spent sometimes with nothing, and that was a waste of time. Or sometimes when it's spent with nothing, and it could be that way, purposely, intentionally so, then it becomes what? A meditation time, a reflection, an introspection. Well, that's not wasted. It can be empty in terms of wording, in terms of filling out the time with something, a substance that you create, but not necessarily so. You can have also an empty, silent moment that is full and plenty of purpose and of meanings. So I just want to mention that. How do we express this gratitude or exercise some kind of an active way, the gratitude that we need to have for this moment that we are in, so that at the end of the day, our subconscious is not counting anymore, doesn't feel a consumption of this time, but appreciate the time. It's not consumed, it's capitalized on. We are building on this time. It gives us something for our core, for our soul, so much that even if it's about giving or taking or having this opportunity to give to someone who's really just give you a hand, please give me $1, give me some money out there in the street or in a congregation with your religion, wherever knocking at your door because someone is starving and really starves, and you are having this opportunity to go get into your pocket and get money out to this person, and thanks to this gesture, this person is going to get something to eat. I think that that very moment could be an appreciation of your aptitude, ability to give this money to this person. That's an appreciation. You are appreciating it. You can even verbalize it after this person is gone. Close the door, take a deep breath, and say, "Thank you for giving me this opportunity to give." And this appreciation, I can guarantee you, adding to a next one and the next one and the next one, will build an incredible amount of tools and weapons to kill the sensation of time consumed. And then we'll really slow down the process of going through the life and the timeline of life, and having it going so fast that you say, "Oh my gosh, I didn't spend enough time with my children. Oh my gosh, I didn't listen enough to this employee coming to my office who had a request, had something to tell me. Oh my gosh, why did I rejected this person at this party who wanted to talk to me about something, and I was busy talking to someone else about something totally stupid, or not stupid, but not. I didn't pay attention to that person, and I realized that after the fact. I did not appreciate in this moment that someone was willing to talk to me. I was told one day, and I thought was very powerful, just a parenthesis here, that when someone comes to you to have to say something to you, who knows why this person comes to you to say something to you? It's not the first time I'm saying that, but those are different things that come to me in my life experience, not my work experience, not my clients here, but it was probably something about the spiritual moment when I realized that this person coming to me and talking to me, I had to pay attention to one thing about it. This was a dynamic. Someone, a human being with a brain, with a soul, comes to me to talk to me. Who am I? Yeah, right. I mean, who am I to take it for granted? This person comes to talk to me. I'm not sure if this person is going to say something positive to me or blame me about something. No matter what, this person has this move coming towards me to say something to me, right? Do I appreciate that? And there's some people who could even say, when this happens, it's a little bit like God willing. It's a God will, right? That this person comes to you. In other words, this person could be like an angel coming and giving you some very great news, or asking you or offering you an opportunity. Who knows? But that person comes to you. A letter arrives in the mail with a check that you did not expect, right? All those things that are coming your way that you did not expect. That's, I think, also another analogy about this. Appreciating that, right? You can expect a tax return coming back to you, a refund from taxes an overtax pay. That check will come eventually before the end of the fiscal year. So that's not a surprise when the check is in the mailbox. It's a very good thing, but it's not a surprise. But if a check comes in the mailbox because there was some kind of a credit given to you that you did not expect, well, wow, it can be $10, but sometimes it can be a few $100s and sometimes a few thousands. When this happens in your life, right? What do you say about it? What do you do about it? So I think I'm making it very clear, I make it very simple, but it is a simple fact. So we have to kind of really realize all of this very clearly. And they are very clear, realizations. There's two things that I think, in this matter of today, we need to really realize. The components are the time, which is really a factor that is not tangible. Time is not tangible. It flies, it flies. There's a French song talking about flowers and candies. Jacques Brel, he was talking. I give you some candies, and they are not, and candies are less perishable than those roses here. So giving flowers versus candies. I think it was the comparison. But how about comparing, time to, I don't know, to a good meal, or time for this incredible experience I have now in on the beach, out there in the Caribbeans for a few days vacation. That's not the time I'm talking about. It's the content that I have now and the use of this time for something that I do, something that I enjoy, right? And that's a moment, or a larger moment, or a very short moment. Do I give it to it the appreciation that it deserves? All right, we don't take any time to take that time. We don't take the time. And that's funny because what I'm trying to say is that if you do take the time to think about those things, there's no question. I'm not here to give advice. I'm just here to share experience. When I do that, I realize at the end of the day that yes, time is not going that fast because it had meaning. It was full of something. It was filled out time, and it was quality time. It was quality time. So there is that. And when I say that there is something about your presence or the presence of someone in your perimeter, in your radius, that also has a significant reason to be that you don't appreciate enough. The presence of someone or your own presence. It's a meeting, and we have plenty of that during the day, especially since COVID and we do virtually. There was always a lot of meetings going and in an organization, in a company, in a building, seeing people running to this room and to the next room and the next room. Because there is something about meetings that people are crazy about. They think that everything can be resolved in a meeting, but people sometimes love it, some others hate it, but it takes a lot of time. That's why one day I made a point about it in my own role that I was playing in my last job. And my boss did not like the idea that I was contesting that some of the meetings I was attending were not really in need of me, and that if I could skip it or delegate someone else to attend this meeting, then I could do a better use of my time to do something else. That was a preoccupation and something that I needed to be a defender of, to be really the advocate of my time because I really value this time. Oh, wow. I just said value the time, value the presence, value the reason of this time being of quality, or intentionally make that time a quality time because I want it to be quality. And just being intentional about it, it will be a quality time. I think the best example for this is the time you spend with your children, if you have children, or with your friends, or with your partner, your spouse, your parents. Because at one time, especially parents, grandparents, I can share a very personal story. I have a dream that comes back very regularly. I am not really open about my dreams, but today I'm going to share one of them. I was very close to my grandfather and my mother's father, and he was a very, very humble person. So humble person. He was not very tall either. In fact, very small, and he was an incredible symbol or a representation of kindness, of generosity, of being a sweet person, a kind person. All right. And this dream that I have very regularly is still around, and it's been gone a long time ago, is still around with my grandmother somewhere in Paris, because that's where I grew up, and that I just abandoned them completely. I'm not just, I realize, oh my gosh, they're still around, and I'm not going visiting them. And I have a feeling of guilt, a terrible feeling of guilt. And that's not because I was a teenager and was visiting my grandparents regularly. So I shouldn't feel any guilt. But in my dream, I do feel that guilt. And again, they are still around, and I'm not going to visit them. What a nice example of something that maybe I have in my subconscious somewhere that I regret I did not spend enough time because it's gone now. A human being, we don't not in this on this world forever. How do we appreciate the presence of someone, the kindness of this person I'm thinking of, I love so much and so dearly, and the fact that I did not spend enough time with my grandfather. Not to mention how much I traveled in my business life and missed this opportunity to be with my children. or my wife when I was gone. I have them with me in my mind. Yes, it's totally true. But didn't have this time physically presently being present and having this time with them, this quality time. It increased, I think, the quality of my time spending with them when I was away. Because I was away, this increased definitely the quality of the time I was spending with them. But that's what I'm trying to say. It's true that when I spend this time with them, having quality time individually with my son, my daughters, was definitely that aspect here did not make me feel that the time was flying and was going fast at all, because I appreciated that time very much. And about the dream that I shared with you, just think about it. It's just interesting because it's really coming back very often. There is a feeling of guilt that I did not spend enough time with my grandfather. So that's all I try to share with you today, because it's not really complicated. And I want to come up with one tip, because my clients are always here asking me tips, which I don't really have. It's not my role as a coach to give tips. Then it becomes mentoring or it becomes counseling. But I'm not having tips, but definitely I can suggest that if I did the experience and was successful at it, or was successful at feeling the outcome of it to be a positive outcome, then yes, I want to share this with you. And say that if you allow me, I'll share with you one tip, one thing that I can share was a positive experience for me and could be an experience that is positive for you because I tried it. And it is about journaling. I talk about this all the time, but that is definitely an example of how you can appreciate, mark the moment, right? And not forget about this moment so that you can write it down the same day. Don't wait too long until you forget about it. And by writing it down, you do multiple number of things, but without knowing, subconsciously. First, the act of writing with your hand and not with a keyboard, with a nice pen. Maybe for the first time, I don't know if it's around me here, I can show you the pen I use for my journaling. Wow. Second revelation of a very secret thing, a very personal thing today. I don't know why I'm doing this, but it's been a long time ago. I indulged myself and bought myself a very, very nice, and I'm not looking advertising for Mont Blanc, but I will do this time, and offered myself a fountain pen. And this pen is really beautiful, very, very beautiful pen, right? And this is the pen I use, and there's even my name, inscribed here on the top of the pen. And it is a gold, fountain pen that makes me write very nicely with a light blue ink on my journal. And this pen, I only use it for journaling purpose or for writing an important letter to someone. That's all I do. I use this pen for that reason. Why? Because I took conscience. I realized by thinking and introspecting and reflecting on this act of writing that it was very, very holistic to do so. The act of writing has an incredible power into it. I cannot say this long enough and deep enough to you to convince you that it's an amazing, amazing, powerful tool. And that when you journal every single day about the moment you spent that you found to be of quality and be grateful about it, or that's one theme of journaling. It's not the one I'm using for my journaling, but there's some amount of gratitude in the themes that I use for journaling every day, because I don't want to pass a day without marking, without noting something about my appreciation for something that happened today or other reasons, but definitely a gratitude. Because if I don't do this in writing, I'm going to forget about it. And there's another idea in the back of my mind too. You know, this is definitely about this famous sentence in Latin that I learned when I was young, and it says verba volant scripta manent, and this means in English, that words fly away and written ones remain. I repeat, words fly away written ones remain. I ask you people to always remember this verbal volant scripta manent Latin old citation, which I think doesn't have an author, but it's from Rome, and it was in the old times of the Roman Empire that someone wrote this, and I use this for that I do now. How you can really mark the time by writing about the appreciation of this time, that it was quality, that it had meaning, it was meaningful, and that will make again your subconscious and you in the reality of the day and the reality of your life not feel the time flying as fast as it does when we are neglecting this appreciation. I hope my point is clear because it's a very simple one. So when we talk about time management, let's talk also about quality of time. And it can't be, I don't think it's possible to make it 100% quality and 100% noticeable, that it has so much significance for you. Imagine that if we would reach that level of 100%, even maybe 60%, would be an incredible accomplishment. That 60% of your time is noted by you with this type of tool that is a journal, that has been 60% of your time was meaningful, was of quality, and that because of that, you don't feel that time flying so fast. The feeling of the time flying, right, comes obviously from a certain negligence about the appreciation, or a negligence about the choice you made of using that time wisely. So, and we sometimes need to chill. That's more of an empty time of moment. Chilling is being relaxed and make the time relaxed. In fact, with the goal of not sensing the time so much. I'm going to be on the beach for 10 hours or for 6 hours under the sun, enjoying this landscape, the birds, the noise of the nature, and this beauty around me, if it's magnificent, which in many parts of the world it is. Appreciate that too, or not appreciate, just do it this way and make it completely empty, like a vacuum. So that, I'm not sure that, again, your feeling will be that this time went so slow. You might even think that this stay you had over 3 days or 5 days in this dream island went like this because you did not appreciate it the way you should have. So, so this is what it is. And I'm arriving now at the end of this time. That's time today, 30 minutes to talk about such an important thing, by willing to give you two resources. And one is a book that Julia Cameron wrote, and it's called The Artist's Way The Artist's Way Morning Pages Journal. It gives you the Artist's Way. So it gives you some methodology and some formatting about how to create a journal and how to manage it. And then you've got some apps that you can find very popular in the App Store of your own, operating system, and finding applications that could be used, in order to journal in a structured way, or simply a pen and a paper. And have this, if you did not do this and ever in your life, by trying it, hopefully you are going to realize that it has an holistic power to make you feel much better about what you do every day, to make you feel that the time is not going that fast, and that the time that you are spending in everything you do, or most of the things that you do, is meaningful, has really a significant value for your life and for the life of others. By doing this, I promise you, you will feel definitely that time doesn't fly, that time is really well spent, is meaningful, is of quality, and gives you quality of life. Thank you for listening and for watching today, and we'll see you next week. And in the meantime, Happy New Year to all, because I didn't say it yet. Happy New Year, a year of peace, a year of health and prosperity for you individually and your families, a year that you are going to, in fact, appreciate for every moment you spent in that year, to be a moment of quality. Thank you.